Wow. Van Lathan exposes former champion boxing commentator Paulie Malignaggi for insensitive and really disgusting comments that he made regarding George Floyd. Stay tuned to this video. I will talk about that in this video. Stay tuned. Back with some more boxing. Listen, the best thing you could do is throw a like on the video. It goes a long way when you guys click on that link and smash the like button. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. My name is Ego. I put out content like this daily regarding all things boxing. Now, we got a very sensitive subject, and this is really, I'm making this because I've been wanting to talk about it even before this post, and I seen it. Basically, former champion and former fighter Paulie Malignaggi, who was in the end fired by Showtime and CBS for insensitive race-related comments that he made at the time, and he had a half-hearted apology, and that wasn't good enough. And the people up top told Showtime exec Steven Espinoza, from what has been reported, that Paulie got to go. I documented this, and I've made several videos about Paulie Malignaggi's comments, some of which you can find, or you can find all of them on my channel. I don't delete videos. And keep that in mind. I don't delete videos. Remember that statement and stay tuned to the end of this video because that's going to come up again. So you see me, July 30th, 2020, Paulie Malignaggi permanently removed from the Showtime Boxing commentary crew for these comments, right? And again, November 10th, you see 2020. So I've talked about this release from Paulie. I've talked about said things, you know, front page, Google, and I've spoke on these various nefarious issues. Paulie Malignaggi said statements that really were inaccurate, untrue, unfounded, and not good for the culture of boxing, right? He said stuff like white fighters are the dominant species and Eastern European bloc fighters have taken over the whole game and is no longer the time of African American fighters. Paulie Malignaggi now finds himself in the hot seat yet again. Shout out to Van Lathan. He has almost 500,000 followers. As you guys see, this is a verified page. This obviously came across his desk as well, and he's posted the video. Keep in mind, as I told you, to watch my video, this video has now been removed from YouTube. This was a video where AC Slater, Mario Lopez, Steve Kim, and Paulie Malignaggi was a special guest, and these are some of the comments that Paulie Malignaggi had actually made live on this podcast, and they were regarding, I'll put the link to Van Lathan's article because somebody on Twitter had posted this as well, and the culprits of this video tried to flag them with a copyright because so many people were speaking out against the heinous and reprehensible things that Paulie Malignaggi said here. So I'm not going to play the whole interview, but I will link to it in the description. And this is the quote. This is the quote that Van Lathan, after hearing these disgusting comments, said. This is former boxing champ Paulie Malignaggi saying that George Floyd, quote, triggered Derek Chauvin into killing him, 187. The voice you hear laughing while Paulie goes on this little racist comedy act is the host of the podcast, AC Slater, aka Mario Lopez. Dang, Slater. So Van Lathan, myself, and others are like, this is not even a laughing matter. You see Stephen Jackson, verified page, he said he been washed up and he needs the attention. Ain't ish in his own sport. So you see, all the word, that's a bet. All the ops, no matter who they are. What an idiot. And I told you, he's from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and the guy says Bensonhurst, Brooklyn strikes again. I told you I have people and connects out in NYC, and Paulie's from Bensonhurst, and there's a lot of Italian culture, and there's a lot of racial issues. In fact, there was somebody who was murdered, right, in that same region, I believe in the 90s, a black person. He was like very young. Hold on. See, Yusuf Hawkins, right? And again, I'm not going to go for YouTube. YouTube is uber sensitive, right? YouTube is uber sensitive. Actually, it wasn't in the early 90s. It was in the late 80s. He was 16 years old. And you see right there, it says Bensonhurst. This is where Paulie is from. And look, it says the BIGOTRY in Bensonhurst and the murder of Yusuf. So this is a notoriously segregated, we'll say, area.
Go completely mute. I said, Steven, it's not even a problem. These things.
Listen, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can hear the disgusting things that Paulie Malignaggi has said. Now, shout out to Van Lathan. Here, I will let you listen to a portion of it where he called George Floyd Pookie. Listen.
The funny thing is about it is after I said my interview, after I had my interview, George Floyd happened a month later. A crackhead criminal who was still unjustly treated, but let's face it, probably died for a lot of reasons. Maybe possibly Derek Chauvin is one of the culprits, but
he said a Pookie criminal that possibly died because of the cop Derek Chauvin, but there's no possibly to it. The only reason that he died was 9 minutes on his neck, roughly, right? And this is Paulie Malignaggi. Van Lathan says disgusting. Cool Boy Steph says, I'm gonna have some words for Paulie. I'm gonna have some. Royce the 5'9" said I can whoop him. You know, so obviously people are like, what is this? Like, first of all, you got to ask yourself several questions here. This is nothing new to me. I've already told you about Paulie Malignaggi and some of his statements. So for starters, when you look back to why Paulie was let go of Showtime, as I previously reported, July 30th of 2020, now 2 years later, What's Done in the Dark Comes to Light. This shows me without a shadow of a doubt that Showtime and CBS, congrats to them as well.
The funny thing is about it is
they were dead on in the notion of releasing Paulie Malignaggi, because in today's culture, you're blaming a victim. There's victim blaming. You're blaming the victim and calling them out of his name, someone who's no longer here to defend themselves, right? And you're calling him a Pookie, and you're saying he a drug addict, and possibly the reason he died was because of the cop that was actually on his neck, you know? Whereas other companies like Netflix, HBO, after that series of events with George Floyd, after that came about, they took a pledge and an oath to go the opposite way and say, hey, Black lives do matter. And here at HBO, here at Netflix, here at Target or whatever, we are going to go above and beyond to let you know that we do care about our Black creators and our Black audience. Paulie has almost seemingly went the other way, and now he's blaming him. Questions you have to ask yourself. Why is there a boxing podcast with AC Slater, Paulie Malignaggi, and Steve Kim, and in 2022, brand new year, you're bringing up something that happened years ago in a derogatory, reprehensible way, right? And how's this even a concept that makes it to a boxing podcast? It'd be one thing if you did a societal or a social injustice podcast and you bring up topics like this, but why are they talking about George Floyd on a boxing podcast? Again, this is showing you a little bit more, and people oftentimes will slip and give you a peek as to who they are in this world with the statements that they make. Now, as I told you earlier, this particular interview, right? This particular interview has since been removed. So after Van Lathan and other people on boxing Twitter and, you know, around started challenging Paulie Malignaggi and saying he's a disgusting human being for making these opponents or making these opinionated comments and things like that, now they've coincidentally removed the interview. And the funny thing is, I told you, the most dangerous thing is a camera and a microphone. I've made thousands of videos. I've made a whole career online before it was popularized, before everyone had a podcast, before everyone wanted to become creators, before TikTok was around, right? I was right here on the internet. I have not deleted one of my videos. The only time I deleted a video is when a fighter got knocked out It was on camera, and they didn't want that on the internet. And, you know, I respected that. I'm not going to say who, but I respected that.
The funny thing is,
I don't have to delete any videos. So the only time I've ever deleted a video is causations like that, you know, things like that, where people are saying, hey, can you take this video down because something, and out of respect for them, I'll take it down. But never any of my billions of hours of commentary from me, I never do I have to delete any videos. So shout out to people like Van Lathan. Look, he's in the boxing gym trying to stay sharp, and we all see it. Paulie Malignaggi, he deserved to be fired. He has been a habitual line stepper, and he keeps talking about these racial issues, and he's saying crude and, you know, really archaic things that have no place in boxing. Like, again, why is a boxing podcast talking about something that happened years ago that has nothing to do with boxing, that's highly offensive and highly opinionated and racist, right? Why are they talking about it? Why are they laughing? And there's people laughing about these commentaries. And then why are they taking the video down? These are all telltale signs. Why are they taking the video down? Why are they flagging people who had the ability to speak out? So it's funny that we live in a society where, and I promise you, they probably won't flag Van Lathan because he has a verified count and he has stature, right? He has like 500,000 followers. So he could just get on his, look, it looks like he has his own podcast and things like that. So if you did try to challenge him, he probably has the assets and the resources to combat, you know, the fair use of this particular clip. Again, why would you say something on a podcast and then take it down? That's cowardly behavior. If you said it, you meant it. You got to stand 10 toes down on that. So now we know who Paulie Malignaggi is. Now you can understand why Steven Espinoza and Showtime CBS were in the position they were in, and they decided to get rid of him. And it's because disgusting comments like this, and he's always doing this. So I'll be anxious to see if the UK, he's a commentary for the UK. I'll be anxious to see if the UK that he has a commentary group, like career with, if they care or take measures like disciplinary action on Paulie Malignaggi, because this can't be accepted, especially in 2022. People are already going through millions of things, from the pandemic and getting sick to people, Bob Saget dying, you know, just different things that people are going through. And for Paulie to make these comments is just, you know, definitely regrettable on his part. And this is nothing new to me. At the end of the day, I'm glad people are shining light on it, like Van Lathan. And now, again, we see who Paulie Malignaggi is and how he really feels. And it's funny that recently, Paulie Malignaggi, there was a video at a fight where he so-called confronted Steven Espinoza for the handling of his firing or whatever. And then weeks later, a month later, he's making more deplorable comments. It's just, this is ironic. And then he'll probably try to play the victim and say, we live in a PC culture and a lot of softies and, you know, things like that. So it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think of Paulie Malignaggi's comments, saying basically that the George Floyd situation, he brought it upon himself. He was a drug addict, and possibly Chauvin had something to do with it. And again, for a full detailed, I'm not going to play the whole clip and all that, but for a detailed explanation of what he said, I will link in the description so you can, on your time, do the research like I did, listen to it, and come back to my video, leave me a comment, and tell me what your thoughts are. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm out. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster.